Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. President Trump has exposed massive social security fraud. Let me just shut this door so hopefully we can get no disturbance from my kids in my home office. I'll actually show you folks a video tour of my home office later. Here's a quick sneak peek, and I've actually developed this home office so that I can essentially be a professional newscaster for my awesome community here at Ignition Time. But let's get back to President Trump. President Trump has exposed massive fraud with Social Security. There are individuals who are supposedly more than 100 years old, in some cases more than 130 years old, receiving Social Security benefits. Hundreds of millions of dollars in Social Security fraud exposed by President Trump. I'll actually show you the entire section of the president's comments talking about this fraud. Also, a significant amount of fraud when it comes to all the money that the government has been spending and sending overseas. It really looks like there was a rampant amount of corruption, incompetency, laziness with our taxpayer dollars. And if I had to guess, I would say it's a combination of corruption as well as just being incompetent and laziness. We're actually going to find out how much of it was corruption, how much of it was just careless management of money. If somebody was managing my money like this or your money like this, they'd be fired immediately. Well, guess what? President Trump again just exposed all of the ridiculous spending when it came to Social Security. People who are not supposed to be receiving benefits actually receiving benefits. President Trump has also exposed a significant amount of waste that exists inside the spending habits of the federal government. Money being sent to countries you've never heard of, money being sent for causes that you couldn't even begin to imagine. Let's take a look at the president's comments when it comes to extensive fraud with Social Security, extensive abuse. And in my opinion, it should never ever have gotten to this point. The fact that we are in this situation right now tells me that a lot of these government agencies that are in charge of managing waste, managing fraud, managing abuse are either mismanaged, in other words, the people at the top need to go, or they are understaffed. In other words, it's quite possible they have the right intentions, they want to do the right thing, they want to prevent fraud, they want the people who are supposed to get Social Security. I mean, if you're my viewer, chances are some of you may be on Social Security. I'm 46 years old. One day I'm going to be getting Social Security as well. Us US taxpayers that pay into the system should be getting our Social Security. In fact, as President Trump says, 70, 80-year-olds getting Social Security results in a beautiful system, because that is the intention of Social Security. The intention of Social Security is not to pay someone who's over 100 years old or over 130 years old who does not exist. In other words, not to pay out fraudulent benefits for Social Security. So at the end of the day, those who are supposed to get it should get it. And I'm sure there are people in all of the organizations and all of the agencies like the SSA, the Social Security Administration, that want the right people like you, like me, someday to get those benefits. But are they understaffed? And that's why fraud and abuse happens. Are they mismanaged? Or is there a darker, more nefarious scheme going on? We'll find out. We'll find out over the course of time. Let's see what President Trump had to say about this in his own words about the rampant corruption, the rampant fraud in Social Security. Let's take a look.
Ukraine's a bigger deal because people are dying by the thousands a week, thousands. But look at this, from 90 to 99, Social Security, 6,054,000 people. Well, that's okay. Maybe that's possible. 90 to 99, maybe it's possible. It's a lot of people, though, at that. But people that live to 100 to 109, 4,734,000. Wow, that's a lot. That means over 100 years old. They're 4 million people. I don't know too many. I know people that are doing great in their 90s, but not too many people over 100. But over 120, from 120 years old, people that are 120 years old up to 129. 3,472,000 people. Wow. You know that can't possibly be, because the record is like, I think it's one person, a woman, lived to 127, but they have 3,472. Okay, but now we're going really in. People from 130 years old to 139-year-old. 3,936,000. Wow. I wonder if people are getting paid with all this. I mean, are these checks? And that's what we're checking right now. People from 140 years old to 149 years old, 3,542,000, 140 years old and beyond. Now we're really going, because we're looking to break the record by 25 years. People from 150 years old to 159 years old, 1,345,000. These are in the, by the way, these are in the computer files. This is what they do well. They're super. I asked Elon, who are these Doge people? He said they're super brilliant computer people, and they love the country. It's simple. Wait a minute. People from 160 years old to 169 years, 121,000. So 160-year-old people. 170 to 179,000, 6,087. But now, let's go into the real numbers. From 200 to 209 years old, 879 people. From 210 years old, I haven't met any of them, and if I did, I would bless them. I would worship the ground they walk on. 210 to 219 years, 866. From 220 years old to 229 years old, 1,039. And then you have two people. From 240 years old to 249 years old, one person. And there's one person that's 360 years old. That's just that. And then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second. $520 million for a consultant on the environment. It's called Environmental, Social, and Governance. Investments in Africa and mobilize private sector resources. $520 million. Somebody got $520 million for an environmental, sounds like an environmental study. I've always been one that paid a lot of money for my environmental studies, but I'd pay like $50,000, not $520 million. $520 million for ESG. $25 million to promote biodiversity, conservation, and promote licit livelihoods by developing socially responsible behavior in the country of Colombia. Well, that's nice. $25 million going to Colombia for something that nobody ever heard of. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. $40 million. $42 million for Johns Hopkins, great place, to research and drive social and behavior change in Uganda. $42 million. What about us? What about social change in our country? $70 million for a center at Purdue to research university-sourced, evidence-based solutions to developmental challenges. I mean, these are massive numbers on things that nobody ever heard about. $10 million for Mozambique voluntary medical male circumcisions. $10 million for circumcisions in another country. $9.7 million for UC Berkeley to develop a cohort of Cambodian youth with enterprise-driven skills. In other words, let's teach them something about enterprise. What about our people? Can't we teach them about enterprise? $2.3 million for strengthening independent voices in Cambodia. $32 million to the Prague Civil Society Center, which is a very liberal group of people. Wonder how much of that money came back to the people that approved it. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $486 million to the Consortium for Elections and Political Process Strengthening, including $22 million for inclusive and participatory political process in Moldova, and $21 million for voter turnout in India. Well, why are we giving $21 million to India? They got a lot of money. They're one of the highest taxing countries in the world in terms of us. We can hardly get in there because their tariffs are so high. I have a lot of respect for India. I have a lot of respect for the Prime Minister. He just left, as you know, 2 days ago. But we're giving $21 million for voter turnout. It's voter turnout in India. What about, like, voter turnout here? Oh, we've done that, I guess. We did $500 million, didn't we? It's called the lockboxes. $20 million for fiscal federalism in Nepal. Listen to these numbers. This is all fraud. $19 million for biodiversity conservation in Nepal. $1.5 million for voter confidence. We want to give them confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $2.5 million for inclusive democracies in South Africa. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well. They're doing a lot better than we do in the schools, aren't they? $2 million to develop sustainable recycling models to increase socioeconomic cohesion among marginalized communities in Kosovo and Ascali and in Egypt. We're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars. I could, by the way, I could read this all day long. I could go on all day long, and you'll see hundreds of billions of dollars, and we're doing it. But when I saw the Social Security numbers, I said, wow, that's really something. So we have, let's just go above 100 years old. We have millions and millions of people over 100 years old. Everybody knows that's not so. We have a very corrupt country, and it's a sad thing to say, but we're figuring it out. Now, the good thing about Social Security and what I read is if you take all of those numbers off, because they're obviously fraudulent or incompetent, but if you take all of those millions of people off Social Security, all of a sudden we have a very powerful Social Security with people that are 80 and 70 and 90, but not 200 years old. You know, so it's a very positive thing. How about over here? Yeah, please.
So that was it, everyone. President Trump, in his own words, talking about the rampant fraud in Social Security. And President Trump also talked about the extensive waste that's been going on. Money, our US taxpayer money, going to different causes, which, blows my mind. And I'm sure it does for you also. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. Please click like, please click subscribe, please enable notifications. I work very hard on this channel. In fact, I built this home office, and the idea is to have all the latest news at my fingertips, and then I am at your service. I will be presenting this to you in a simple, streamlined manner. Please support the channel. Please click like, please click subscribe, please enable notifications. Please also share this video with a couple of your friends or family members. Help me get more subscribers to the channel. That would mean a lot to me. I appreciate you watching so much. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.